Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper, and it's Wednesday today. So that means it's time for stamping through my stash. And today I'm going to be using the Lights Aglow paper and the Brightest Glow bundle. Now, I have used the Brightest Glow bundle before, but I haven't used the dies in the way I'm going to use them today. So I made a bunch of cards yesterday, which I will share with you because I think they turned out really, really well. And I like having a pile of cards all showing different ways to use the stamp set, the dies, the paper. But then I made all these cards without looking at all at anything online or at the catalog. I did it without any inspiration at all except my own little brain. And that was fun. I like to challenge myself that way, just so that my ideas are as original as they could possibly be. But then I thought I was a little bit stumped with that one circle die. I thought, well, what am I going to do with that? And then I looked in the catalog and I really loved what I saw. So I'm going to switch the camera and take a look at this card here. It looks like a slimline card, and I think it might be a little bit wider than what I'm making, like this way, height-wise. But I'm going to try it and see. Now, that red bit that you see under there, that is a piece of our red ribbon that's in this mini catalog, and the edges have been cut off and then it's been frayed, and they've used some threads in there. I don't have that red ribbon here, so I can't do that, so I'm going to try something different. But I am going to walk you through how this card was made because I think it's pretty cool. So I started with a piece of this glimmer paper, and you'll notice it has some random holes in it. I will tell you why there are random holes in it. And then this is the background, and I didn't want to, it takes a little while to do this, and then I have a bunch of these circles. So I have a stack of these black, and here's the die that I used. And so I have a stack of these black and gold starry circles, and then I have the gold shimmer paper. And then I have this. So let's take a peek. This is the brightest glow stamp set. And then these are the Labels Aglow dies. Now this is the one that I was being challenged with. Okay, I thought, how can I use that? So in this card, what they've done is they've run it through a bunch of times to cut these openings. Now I couldn't quite duplicate the look of the card, and let's see, I'll put them side by side so you can see what I mean. So here is the original, and then here is mine. It's probably too big, it's too hard to tell the difference. But you know what? No one's going to know that I was trying to copy that card, so I'm going to make it my original. So let's put the circles on here first, and then I'm going to put the whole thing together. So first you put your circles on, and then later you'll trim the edges off. Let's go. I'm using liquid adhesive because I find it easy to work with. Sometimes you do get dirty fingers. So that's going to be centered on that one. Oh yes, and someone was asking me yesterday what happened to my finger. I got it caught in the bathroom door. Yes, my own stupid fault. That one's going to go here, and this one's going to go over top of it a little bit. Maybe I'll change it a little. I can't copy it exactly, but I do like the look of it. Well, we'll see. This one goes up here. Maybe I'll put it up like that. Okay. Sorry, I just bumped my laptop. I have my laptop sitting on a on a book, so that it doesn't overheat as quickly. Laptops can tend to overheat sometimes, and that's not good because then it will stop doing what it has to do. Well, I do want to make sure I'm in the camera. I am. So here I'm just going to put the adhesive on this part so that I don't get it in places where it shouldn't go. There. So this is kind of like building a puzzle piece. I'm going to put a gold one over here. So again, I'm just going to put the adhesive on the base. And you can see that there's parts now hanging off the edge. That's okay. This is going to be, I'm just going to lay them out a little bit. This is going to be a black one. This is going to be a black one. You kind of have to lay out your pieces to make sure that everything is going to look nice. And I might switch that up a little bit like so. And then we need another gold one over here. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's what we're going to do. Here. And yeah, maybe I should, speed this part up, but I just haven't gotten into knowing how to do that. And then I would cut off some of my talking, and that wouldn't be fun either. So stick with me, people, and maybe it'll be worth it. But these dies are really pretty. And wait till you see all the other cards that I made with it, and I think you'll agree. Put a little bit on there. And a little bit here. That was meant to overlap a little bit. Well, no, those two overlap. It's okay. And then I think I'm going to put a gold one on this side yet, even though it's going to cover up my little dots. Well, we're going to leave it like this for now. I'm going to flip this over like so. And I could use my paper trimmer to trim these all off. And maybe I'll do that. I'm just going to let it dry for a minute. So I already stamped my Happy New Year on here. And here you can see the little details in the die, that there's little dots all around. It's really pretty. It mimics the dots in the paper. So it's really well. And maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so that you can see here. So you can see the dots that are in between the stars. I love the way that all works. So what they did in the picture is they had this ribbon looped in behind. So what I'm going to do is put some tear and tape. Actually, you know what? Not tear and tape. I'm going to use this Snail Stamp and Seal Plus because it's really strong. And that's what the ribbon is going to stick to. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And what they do, instead of making bows, this is a different, more modern way of adding a ribbon accent to your card. So just a loop and a loop, and then on this side we're going to just extend it a little, well, maybe loop like so. Okay, and then so I'm holding that, I've pressed it to the back, and now I'm just going to trim it. Oh, I need my ribbon scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that, and then I think I'm going to, oh, this is not working. Okay, now I want to just make sure on the back that it's trimmed well. And now we're going to add a little bit more Stamp and Seal, because instead of adding red, I took apart some ribbon, and I have these white pieces. So I'm going to see how that looks. I'm going to make a gigantic bow with this and add that to the back. Just gives us a little bit. I could have colored these with blends as well to make it, it's really an ugly bow, but that's okay. I'm just going to press it on the back like so. Oops. There. And now I've got something stuck to it. I'm going to have to use, oh, it's a piece of glue. There, we do have an adhesive remover square. Okay, this is looking good. Let's get this, and I see that my adhesive still hasn't dried. So instead of using my paper trimmer, I'm going to use scissors, okay? And we're just going to trim off these extra circles. It helps to have longer scissors, like this is what I have, so that's what we're going to have to use. There. This is going to make my scissors gunky. Normally I'd have the patience to wait to dry that glue, but today I don't. So we turn it around. And you can use these partial circles again on another card. But I love the idea of making a background with this die and with these. Oh, here there's just a little piece sticking out. And here we go. There. So now we have our piece. Doesn't that look so nice? Just going to move this out of the way. And now, just a second, I'm going to explain my other piece. Okay, so I've kind of cleared up my space a little bit, and I found this little half. I'm saving all my little pieces because you see how there's just a big bit of an empty space there? I'm going to put this little half third of a circle in that spot. But I'm really happy with the look of it. So don't forget to use your catalog as a idea book. So here we have this, and then this is going to get put up about here. But I'm going to add that after I have my card together. So a couple of tips now that are super important. You will notice when you use this die repeatedly, and the same thing with this little guy here, especially if you use it on glimmer paper, things are going to get stuck in those little holes. So there's two ways to do that. You can use this, take your pick tool with the brush tip. You can put that on here and just go over top, and that will get rid of a lot of the little bits. Like you can see all the pieces coming out. So do that first, and then after you've done that, then you can go and get the stubborn pieces out and just go with your, like that. Because once you get a lot of layers in there, it's going to get jammed and then it won't cut your holes anymore. Okay, so you do have to do a little bit of maintenance with these little dots. But this brush tip really gets rid of most of them. But the glitter paper really will get stuck worse than the other stuff. So just take the time to give them a little poke and clean them up. Okay, it will really be worth your while. The second thing is glitter paper doesn't stick well, and things don't stick well to it. So on the back, it's quite glossy. So use your liquid glue for the back. And for gluing things to glitter paper, I'm going to be popping this up with dimensionals. So I took some punches underneath so that I can put my dimensionals there. I'll show you. So the card base is 8.5 by 7, scored at 3.5. So I'm going to fold that in half. This is our thick basic white. And then make sure you take your bone folder and give it a good crease. And then our glimmer paper, I'll show it to you in a minute. This is 8.25 by 3.25. Well, that's what I thought it was, but it seems to be the same size. I think I've covered it. Yeah. You know what? This is 8.25 by 3.25. I wanted the glimmer paper to cover the whole thing. So that was intentional. All right, let's get some liquid glue on here. And then I have to remember where I meant those holes to go. I can't do it upside down or I'm still out of luck. I'll explain why. I think I'm adding too much glue in my excitement. Okay, now I think this is how I did it. Yeah, all right. So make sure your white is covered and give it a nice firm press. This glimmer paper is beautiful, evening evergreen. Don't know where that glue came from, but it will dry clear. So now I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals in these open spots. Okay. And this, I'm going to put quite a few because this is really what's going to hold my card. These are the strongest parts of the card. You don't want your card falling apart. And maybe I could have punched a few more. And then take the little backs off. And I wanted this second section popped up so that the little dots will show through a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the corners. I'm just giving them a good hard press. Our dimensionals do stick really well. So I'm hoping that they will do their job. There, I'm giving them an extra firm press of encouragement. Okay, so now we're going to take them all off, all those little backies. Some people are really effective at doing this. They use their pokey tool. I've tried it. I'm just not that good at it. So, but our dimensionals do, I've used contraband and they're not as good. Those ones from the dollar store, they're too thick and they're just not nice. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on. I want to try to make sure I have an even layer of Evening Evergreen, and I don't think I do, but it is what it is. So there we go. And now we're going to pop this up right here. I'm really happy with it, and I actually like the white. So I used this Playful Pets trim. I just took the white piece out of that and I used that. So you know what? Just look to see what you have and make it work. So now we're going to add a few dimensionals. I was looking at that and I'm thinking, oh, that's ugly. Well, it's the back. I know you guys are probably laughing at me, and you should be, because it is kind of funny. All right, so I've got 4 dimensionals on here. I'm trying to go on the ribbon and on the cardstock. There are lots of dimensionals on this card. There. So that's going to go right here. Isn't that really nice? I love it. And you know what? It's great to have a Happy New Year card too, because sometimes we get our Christmas cards out late or we've forgotten someone. Then you can send them a Happy New Year card. So do you want to see the rest of the cards that I made with this set? I hope so. I hope, what are you guys busy with? I would like to hear it in the comments. Let me know what you guys are creating right now. Do you make Halloween cards? Do you make fall cards? Thanksgiving cards? Okay, so this is the latest. And now I'm going to show you the rest of them. I made another one this morning. This is a big square card. And simple, I'm using that. I had that extra little piece of glimmer paper and I loved it so much. I thought I'm going to make that the star of the show. So this is a square card. It's like almost 6 by 6. It would be 6 by 6 if I was in Canada, but now it's about like 11 3/4 is divided by half. It's the A4 cardstock from Europe. And then this is our vintage, our distressed gold paper, which is really cool. And the leaf is from Perched in a Tree. Then we have this one, and that's with the Wintry 3D folder. Again, the distressed gold paper and the stylish shapes dies to cut the things. Here's another one. And so you can see the other dotty dies that go in the bright labels dies. They're really nice. So here is that original, that circle die that I used in today's card. And here's another super simple one. With the gold embossing, it's really pretty. And then combine that paper and you've got a really easy card. And that ribbon is also beautiful. And then we have this one. And the last one with a very vintagey Merry Christmas label on the front, all in that distressed gold. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you take the time to subscribe to my Pampered Stamper channel or check out my blog. I have tons of tutorials there. Don't forget about the amazing deal on the starter kit for October. Okay, so in Canada, it's $135 for the starter kit, but you get to choose anything you want, any products you want, except for host sets, and you get to choose $206. So by the time you add shipping and tax to that, you're probably at $300, and you're paying $135. So this is a great time to sign up to get the kit. Message me if you have any questions, okay? I don't want to go on for a long time about the benefits, but honestly, there's really no good reason not to do it. There are no repercussions if you choose not to be a demonstrator. You can just be a discount stamper where you get your own discount, because once you buy the starter kit, you get a 20% discount on all your orders after that. Stampin' Up! Hopes that you start selling to your friends and family and that your business will grow. It sometimes does that on its own. But there's no pressure from me or from Stampin' Up! To do that. And if you do choose to make a business out of it or keep your discount, then you do have to sell $400 every 3 months. So it's about $133 a month. But if for some reason you can't do that, it's not a big deal. You'll just drop as a demonstrator and you won't have your discount anymore. So, but there's always room for you on my team, whether you're in Canada. I also have a team in Europe because I live in 2 countries, which is a pretty rare thing. So 2 separate businesses, but Stampin' Up! Has just moved into Ireland and into Belgium. So if you're watching from there and you want to get into Stampin' Up!, if you want to do this hobby, message me. I'd love to have you on my team, and I'd love to have an excuse to come and visit you. All right. Have a super day. Enjoy the fall weather and happy stamping. Bye.